Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'll just do this. This is non-alcoholic beverages here, Mom. Sorry, non-alcoholic. Christina Kimbrough with Free Life LLC. She's got these great beverages here. Oh, 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 oh.
You know,
Oh
the
man,
the people of the internet probably think we hate each other. I don't know why I said that.
why?
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't think that. Yeah, I don't think that we get too spicy though on the show. I think we keep things pretty cool.
Spicy. Define spicy.
Yeah, we generally don't escalate. We generally don't disagree, nor do we really escalate anything if there should be a disagreement on anything. I think other podcasts probably or shows they kind of like get spicy, argue a little bit to create some drama.
Drama.
Yeah.
I just feel like I'm mature enough to be able to handle both sides of a discussion, even if I'm vehemently. See, here I am trying to use big words and I can't even say.
Yes,
Done.
we've all matured a little bit as time goes on.
Yeah, you know, in high school they do like all those superlatives. Mine was most likely to not mature, to grow up. You know, most likely to stay Peter Pan. That was me. I made that up, but you believed it. Yeah.
Yeah, those were the days.
Yeah. Episode 273. Congratulations for getting here. We are recording this live in August of 2025.
August 7th.
Why
2
does it feel
weeks.
like? Why does it feel like we're in the middle of like fall?
Dude, I mean, I'm a summer guy. Summers in Virginia, as we know, can get pretty warm and steamy. I think that we've had a nice little reprieve, and I want to make the time count. But boy, there's a lot of stress leading up to 2 weeks from today.
You're not a stressful kind of guy. Don't lie to the audience. 2 weeks though before the start.
Everything's. Yeah, I mean, it just. I mean, it's we talk about a lot on the show. It's a lot like this is you got to celebrate every win, and it's like, man, a lot of peaks and valleys. Some things go as planned, other things not so much. Just the amount of effort to put on a production at this scale is it's a lot.
You know, something on that kind of level that I probably should have documented along the way. I should have documented how many no's we've received throughout this process for whatever reason.
Yeah.
That would have been fun. It's got to be hundreds. So, but you just got to push forward. That's it.
You
That's
know, and the same holds true as you mentioned that. It's interesting. I mean, we also have had to give a lot of no's too. I mean, with almost 100 people applying and only 10 people getting in. I mean, that's
fair. Well, 121, I think, was over 100.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, anywho, we are delighted to have a guest today that was in attendance at last year's Startup World Cup.
Yeah.
Who I met there that day. No, I don't know that I actually met him, but I think I saw him on the internet afterwards. Maybe he posted like an Instagram, thingamajig. And I was like, hey man, you were there. Cool. Thanks for being here.
I dig that a lot.
Yeah.
Hopefully he had enough fun that he'll want to come back again this year as well. We'll have to, maybe that'll be the first hard-hitting question.
We also were on his show recently, Discover Virginia, releasing next week. Excited to.
Is that the release date?
I don't know. That's what I was told. But we are here with Senor Trahan. Hello.
Zach, Tim, thank you guys for such a warm introduction. And yes, Discover Virginia episode goes live next week, and really excited to share all the great things you have going on with Innovate Hampton Roads and the Startup World Cup 2025.
You coming back? You going to be there?
Absolutely, I'm going to be there. And to commemorate that, I think we're gonna have to partake here. We're gonna have to partake. You guys, do you guys not bring your drinks?
I got a little coffee action here.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'll just do this. This is non-alcoholic beverages here, Mom. Sorry, non-alcoholic. Christina Kimbrough with Free Life LLC. She's got these great beverages here. Oh, oh.
That was okay.
Pouring one out for the homies. Innovate Hampton Roads. I'm excited to be on the show, guys.
That was the slowest shotgun I've ever seen in my life. Oh my god!
I'm a dad, and it's non-alcoholic, so it doesn't. It's got a different flavor for it. But regardless of how you partake, partake responsibly, and if you need something different, that's going to be it right there.
That thing just like busted all over your glasses. Like it
was pretty crazy. I mean, it's just it's a metaphor for the excitement that is to come for Innovate Hampton Roads.
That was the first ever. We might have all of our guests now shotgun something.
I think it's appropriate. I mean, it's almost Friday, right? You guys do a show on a Thursday, Why did you apologize to your mom for having a non-alcoholic beverage?
Yeah, does she have a strict alcohol-only rule set?
Yeah. Well, I didn't mean to go on all that now, but yeah, it just kind of depends. Just kind of depends, Everyone's got their flavor, and that's the great thing about Hampton Roads. Everyone's got their flavor. Everyone's got their, their thing they like to do. So, and then you guys get to put it all together with your show. So, yeah, something for everybody.
Wow, this is this might take a turn. I'm really excited to see where this turn goes. Right? That was quite. I don't think that was
maybe some foreshadowing for our episode that's going to air next week. That was a unique thing for Zach and I. That was only the second time that we ever did a show in person together. So that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, thank goodness for the Slover Library here in Norfolk. They have such an incredible space, totally free, by the way. So if anybody's looking to try out podcasting and stuff like that, or maybe come on the Discover Virginia show, that resource still stands. So yeah, thank you to the Slover for that.
That's a new resource too. What's interesting is
didn't you record a book there?
Yeah, so when I recorded Anomaly, we tried doing it. Chris Lane, good friend. He was the producer of the audiobook for Anomaly. We tried doing it in 1701. They had too much military buff. So it was like every 2 minutes, be like, this is Anomaly. By Zach, the fighter jets practicing. Totally love it. But,
Sound of Freedom, baby.
Had to go somewhere else. So then we go to this random.
That's right, Tim. Yeah, reminds
exactly. Sound of Freedom. Oh, no, I was not complaining. I was just saying that we had to find a new location.
Kind of sounded like you were complaining.
No. Okay, well, y'all are reading that room wrong. So we had to do it somewhere else. And then I find out about a year or two ago that the Slover Library has now built an audio booth where you can do recording. So I did the What Are You Watching on Netflix book, recording in there, 2 sessions because I'm a pro. Got it in and out. Yeah, it's a great place. Totally free. All you have to do is get your library card.
Well, I think
that's a full Hampton Roads.
Is a thumb drive. Slap that in the Super Mac that they have there.
Yeah, you're right.
And redo your recording. And
what do those cost?
Roll
like
with your thumb drive.
13 cents now. Go to Temu.
Dude, it's ridiculous. Yeah.
Remember when those things were like a lot? It's crazy.
Word on the street is you can get like a 27-inch monitor for like $100.
Wow, that's cool.
That's cool. Yeah, tech prices, it's more affordable.
I bought a TV for a lot of money in college that was basically the same size of a 27-inch monitor, which is crazy. And it's crazy how tech has changed and how thin it is. It's wild.
Right?
Yeah. You guys remember moving those big TVs where they used to make them like super fat and you had to carry them and then slap the GameCube on top, take it to your
That was what I was talking about.
Yeah.
I remember my buddy gave me a TV once too, and it was like 400 pounds. I was like, yo, like, thank God this is big, but like.
Yeah. Dude, the first TV we hung up on the wall, that thing was a tank. And I'm like, man, I hope we hit the
on the wall.
Right.
Yeah.
Alan Hagerman said, I'd be chugging liquid death canned water. Interesting.
I had that once. Do that faster with no carbonation. Was that carbonated? that you just drank?
Yeah, from the sploosh, from the initial touch, I think it was carbonated. It was probably
It looked
because I
like it.
shook it up a bunch. But yeah,
Did you shake it up?
of course. Yeah, you got to shake it up. You know, if you have two, you can Stone Cold Austin, but you know those are alcoholic, so this was just a one. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Aren't you like
Love
a
it.
Stone Cold Austin fan, Zach? Or
I mean,
was
you
that
can
another?
get the
that another
complete
wrestler?
Stone Cold Steve Austin, but I mean, yes.
Oh, the Steve Austin. Sorry. Okay.
Yeah, I'm a fan of him. You know, in high school, I think every kid was doing the DX and Stone Cold Stunning everyone in class. Yeah, teachers loved that. So okay, so you went to the World Cup last year. I don't think we had ever met before that, and I don't think you had ever met Tim before that. Correct?
Yeah.
I had not. I had not. No.
How did you even find out? Do you even remember how you found out about it and what enticed you to go?
Yeah, so it was a LinkedIn post that I saw literally the day before the event, and I was like,
Oh,
"Holy
wow.
moly, this is great! I'd love to connect with some business owners, entrepreneurs." I show up, and then it's got this energy to it, and then as soon as the girl threw the knife on the stage, that's when I knew like this was something that was like going to be memorable. And the stuff that you guys did with your comedy and the energy that you had to make it like fun and engaging. That to me is like what stood out. And when Zach messaged me, I was like, yeah, when's the next one?
This knife.
Oh, you still have it. Did she throw it like at the governor?
The former governor,
Former governor. Yeah.
George Allen.
That was unexpected. You guys didn't disclose if that was, coordinated or not.
That was definitely not pre-planned. There was a lot of things that happened off script.
I would say the majority of the things there were not pre-planned.
Yeah, thinking about that was like a lot when you go to these shows that go to city after city, they practice day in and day out with every show that they go to. With this, it's a one-off kind of thing. So you don't really have a lot of time to dial everything in.
Yeah. And the venue is incredible. I mean, the Sandler Center.
They've been great.
The Ziegler, I think it's called the Z. It's right above Taste in Town Center. Just a great location.
Oh yeah, it is above Taste.
Yeah.
Yeah, this year is going to be super, super fun. Go ahead, Zach.
So we met that day. You've been excited about this for 12 months. Communicate a little since.
Yeah.
You have an interesting upbringing from Texas. Is that right?
Yes, and I have to shield my accent, but generally y'all, drawl, cowboys, that kind of sticks out sometimes.
Got it. Where in Texas were you from?
Southeast Texas. It was a little town called Angleton, and I only mention that because that's actually where the first Buc-ee's gas station was. For those of you who don't know Buc-ee's, then you're missing out.
Have you made it to Harrisonburg to check out the Virginia's Buc-ee's yet?
Not yet. But
I heard there was like a line for like 3 hours.
People had to park across the street and walk it in. But that was intel from my daughter who went. That was the second weekend it was open.
Yeah, it's an incredible experience. So I grew up in Texas. The first Buc-ee's was in the town I grew up in, and then
was it a big thing then, or is it just like the hooplas?
No, it was huge. It was huge then too. I mean, they were still only in Texas at that time. So
are you a beaver nugget kind of guy?
I'm clinically addicted to beaver nuggets. Yes. I was told I had to stop. That and beef jerky.
Is it true they have a wall of beef jerky?
They have a whole wall of beef jerky. Yeah, and they actually
cool.
I've been to some of the events where they have like a beaver like in the shape of the beef jerky, and then the brisket board. Oh my gosh, they have fresh brisket cooking like the whole time that the store is open, and every time they have meat on the board, they say meat on the board, and then they give it a little like just a little hey, you're okay, and some of the juice comes out and just shows how fresh it is. It's an incredible.
Kind of like you shotgunning a beer and it bursting on your face.
Just like that, actually. Yeah. That's how it goes.
Interesting. Yeah, apparently we're getting a Buc-ee's here next year soon. Should be interesting.
Yeah.
Dude, it's amazing. Kudos to them to like whatever they did to generate the fanatical following that they have. I mean, it's just not many organizations can say they've done that. So good on them.
Yeah. One thing that stands out to me about Buc-ee's, if I may share without talking the whole time about Buc-ee's, because I could. The sheer amount of attention to detail they put on the guest experience. So they have people on standby to clean the restrooms every 15 minutes.
I was just going to bring that up. You know, I mean, if you're going to be branded for something, being branded for like the cleanest restrooms is not a bad thing. I mean, I'm all about that life.
Yeah, and that's the stigma about, gas stations, which is more than a gas station, but like the clean bathrooms. And then what I love most is they pay their employees above minimum wage. They've been doing that since like I was in high school. I mean, I almost got a job there, except they hired 18 at the time. But they start off paying 15 to 20 bucks an hour, and they are very transparent about their pay on the front end. And I mean, GM could get up to $100,000 plus per year of salary. Yeah. So it's a great company to work for, and they
I really took a picture of the sandwich board with all of the positions with their salaries, because I was like, this is crazy. Yeah, it was like 120, 130K, or I mean, it was a significant chunk of money.
Yeah. Wow. Buc-ee's.
Okay, so another company that does that well that you have several years experience with is the creator of the chicken sandwich.
Yes, yeah, yeah. Well, he made the chicken sandwich famous, I would say.
Whatever. Okay, so my question to you is, how many times have you told one person in one session, my pleasure?
So I was working in Chick-fil-A in my high school years, right? So my frontal lobe was not fully developed. So when we were taking orders, we had different challenges we would do because, it got a little mundane. So we actually had a challenge where we saw who could say my pleasure the most organically. Of course, this is before Instagram and TikTok. I didn't win the challenge. I think mine was 23, but you couldn't let the people catch on. So she had caught on it. She had caught on like around 23. She's like, okay, that's not funny. But we had one lady, sweet older lady, because she could draw out her draw and her conversations because she worked dining room. They were a little bit longer interactions. She said she got up to 46. My pleasure.
See, that's really interesting to me. Because I went with Zach, and that was Zach's little game as the consumer to lay up the shot, if you will, to see how many my pleasures he could draw out.
Yeah.
So, boy, if you had your game going the same time Zach's game was going, you guys could have been there all night.
Yeah. It would be
at least until Sunday morning, and then they would.
What did you say? 40? 40?
Like 46. I think it's 46 or 48. But
I think mine's like 14.
14. Well, so what you do is you hit different. If you got the family with them, then you delegate each part of the order to the family members. So if there's like daughter, son, mom, dad, you kind of delegate that way. Then you can like
my pleasure at scale.
Get your multiply. Yeah, it's a pleasurable scale. You multiply it. Yeah.
The economies of scale of my pleasure. Got it.
Yeah.
Interesting. Any major takeaways from working there that you recall? Because, I often refer to, a restaurant like that and maybe the Golden Arches as they sell basically the same thing, but people are going from the positive experience.
I hear training is a pretty important part of Chick-fil-A success.
Yeah, most definitely. I think the biggest takeaway, I'll share a positive and also one that I think could be room for improvement. The most biggest takeaway with the training piece was like my first day, I was, taking orders on an iPad. I was shadowed, and, I had a manager kind of like coach me up. So that was really, really good to see and experience from like a team member level. However, one opportunity I think for growth was as I continued to work my way up into management, there wasn't quite a clear path of success or trajectory forward on the training piece there. And it was more so learn as you go. So that was, I think, a big takeaway from the training piece on the team member side, which was very thorough. And then on the management side was just a little bit lacking, at least the time I was there. But overall, incredible experience.
How did you make your way
to? It's very difficult to be the manager there.
Yeah, I mean, it was challenging. I mean, the main thing was it requires, and this is with any leadership position, it requires a vast amount of humility. And when you're a 20-year-old, kid that dropped out of college, a couple times, then you kind of think you're a hot shot. So that was on me just as much as it was on the structure I had working with. But humility in the leadership piece is the biggest thing. And that kind of opportunity led to falling on your face a couple times, but I learned a lot from it. But ultimately that's kind of the path I had for about better part of the 3.5 years I was with Chick-fil-A was within the management, opening up, stores and things like that.
Is that what brought you to Virginia, or how did you end up here in the VA?
The VA, yeah. So the VA called my dad, and we moved here for one of his jobs. And that was my senior year of high school. I got an opportunity to go to Tidewater Community College, and then from there started working at a Chick-fil-A. I really liked it. It was I applied to 4 Chick-fil-A's, and I just couldn't figure out why I couldn't get hired because I had a good year of experience at the time. And then I landed in Portsmouth, Virginia, Frederick Boulevard Chick-fil-A. And I was like, okay, I guess this is where I'm supposed to be. And literally that next shift, this sweet coworker of mine bought me a cookie. And, I was like, hey, like, you want to hang out sometime? And then one thing led to another. And we fell in love and got married and settled down here in Virginia Beach, Norfolk area now. So, yeah.
Chick-fil-A love story.
Chick-fil-A love story. Yeah.
Okay. Is that the one across from the Walmart?
That's the one across from the Walmart. Yep. We actually had our first date next door at the Valvoline instant oil change, but it wasn't at an oil change. It used to be an IHOP. But at the time, I was like, well, I don't want to like go on a date at work. Like that's not, I could do better. So I went on a date to IHOP. And at the time I thought that was better. I don't know why.
Treat her to a little Rudy Tooty fresh and fruity.
Yeah. We, got the banana split pancakes, something to share. But just anybody like does dates. IHOP is not a great first date. Sorry, IHOP. That's just it's not a good first date. The feedback I received definitely set me back a couple months.
It worked worked out in the long run.
Yeah. True.
Man, that's cool. That's cool. How did you? This is a really fun journey that you're taking us on. What's next? You left Chick-fil-A. Where did you go?
So I left Chick-fil-A, and this was really where I was like, I gotta figure out like corporate America because I wanted a job that I could work between 9 to 7, 9 to 5 range versus the most of my Chick-fil-A would work 60 to 70 hours a week, anywhere from like 2 p.m. upwards to like 11 p.m., 12 a.m. the next day. So that lifestyle was really tough. So I started working at Patient First, did my stint in the medical field, and then kind of got the entrepreneurial drive a little bit, being able to control my own schedule. And I decided that I was going to start my business as an Uber driver. And also too, I didn't know Hampton Roads that well. So I became an Uber driver. And I lived it up. I would sit at the Norfolk Airport parking lot, reading my entrepreneurial books, how to start a business. I would, chat with people about the community that I was talking about, what city they were coming from, what they liked about the area, and really kind of started to fall in love with the community a little bit more than I had previously. And then the dreaded moment happened when I broke my foot. And that really set in trajectory the next 6 years now, being in what I'm doing today, where I broke my foot. I was up on the couch. It was kind of a miserable experience. I lived on a second floor apartment. So I remember, I was very dramatic at the time, I had to like crawl up the steps because it wasn't ADA compliant or accessible. And I just remember crawling up the steps every day for a good couple months. And during that time, I literally felt low because I was low to the ground, but mentally I was kind of in a low point too. And I was like, I need to figure out like how to build something. And so I looked at the industries in Hampton Roads, and I got a 4-year degree after dropping out a couple times, but I wasn't the brightest bulb in the box. And I was like, look, there's three main industries in Hampton Roads. There's military, there's medical, and there's sales. I'm not strong enough to be in the military. I tried that. I wasn't smart enough to do medical. So I said, I guess I'm dumb enough to do sales. No offense, salespeople. It's not a dumb job. But I said, maybe I'm crazy enough to do sales. So then I got my real estate license February 29th, 2020. And for those of you who recall, devastating thing called COVID happened. And, that's really set into motion, my business, growing a business in really this kind of, archaic time where, face-to-face was frowned upon, and, really began to figure out how to grow my marketing and grow my business in more of a digital approach than a in-person approach, because I couldn't physically do anything.
I'm sure that served you okay as a younger person, being native to technology, where some of the more seasoned, if you will, real estate agents may have struggled. So did you dive in?
I would say it was an opportunity for me to really navigate through the digital nomad space, if you will. So yes, I recorded my first video, and obviously, real estate had a great year, financially speaking, despite the devastation that the pandemic caused worldwide. The markets did okay on the real estate front. They did quite well. So I had a really good time, really good business trajectory those next couple of years for real estate, and just being able to be digital and connect with people online, kind of like when I used to be an Uber driver, driving around people, connecting with their story and who they were. Really began to want to explore that more on Facebook and social media platforms like that. So, yeah.
It's super, Zach. I think it's interesting. Like we've had three folks in the real estate that I can count, that I remember, all hustlers. Jake, Chase Canova,
Greg Garrett.
Oh, we had Greg Garrett. But it just seems like if you with everything in business, you lean into it, you put everything you have into it, and you're gonna move some properties and do well. That you can't. So many people it's.
That aside, I gotta know how you broke your foot, though.
Okay, so.
And I'm assuming that it was the right foot, because you couldn't operate the brake pedal or the accelerator.
Yeah, so that was an interesting story. So my wife and I at the time lived across the street from my nephews. We were spending more time with them. They had some family changes and transitions, so we wanted to be near them. So always hanging out with the nephews. I was super uncle. I could carry the kids and fly them around, and I like to show off. Because my wife enjoyed it because I was good with the kids, and I got treated better at home. No, I'm just kidding. It was always great, but definitely earned me some brownie points. And so one day, it was actually around Christmas time. I was carrying both of my nephews in the dark at their condo, and I had stepped off the curb. And for those of you who are squeamish, I'll just blur out this part. But my foot turned a direction it should not have turned, further than it should have ever moved before.
Mm.
I then proceeded to go to the Christmas party because it's Christmas, and I didn't want to miss out on the free food and desserts. So I went to this Christmas party. My knee was all bloody. It was scuffed up. I tore my pants, but I hadn't eaten dinner yet. So that was my priority that night. I needed to eat first. And then after trying to walk on it, and my foot, swelling up, I decided, my wife decided it was probably good for me to go to the doctor. So we did, and that's when I found out I broke my foot. But the story doesn't end there, because then I go and I do everything I'm supposed to, start exercising, lining my foot, making sure I'm doing the proper physical therapy, modifications, and all the good science stuff that goes behind healing a ligament, healing a bone that is broken. Well, 6 months later, I'm all good to go. I'm cleared. I'm now working as a real estate agent. I'm driving around, and I am playing with my nephews again. And one of them, I pick them up, and then I broke the ligament. I tore the ligament of the foot that I had injured prior. And then I began the process all over again for the next 6 months of healing that ligament, having surgery, having to be in a boot. And then probably the greatest part of my love story with my wife happened during this season, where I could not drive. It was COVID, and I literally had to ask her after she got home from work to drive me around and help show houses to people looking to buy. So I would not be here where I am today without my wife, because her name's Anna. She drove me around to all my home showings, and all my early clients remember me specifically showing up on my crutches, and my wife would wait in the car patiently, and we would do our business and see the house, and then have to go back and continue to navigate that for the next 6 months. So
People
When it
show
was
you
a
some
two,
sympathy?
what's that,
when it was a
Zach?
two, when it was a 2-story house, did you crawl up there and complain about it like you were in your apartment, or how did that work?
I didn't complain. I just kind of grit my teeth and I was like, no, we need to see it. We need to see it, and I'd crawl up the stairs
I mean,
a little
yeah.
bit more
So
gracefully. Yeah. So it
that
was
had to lead to some sympathy sales, I would think.
more sympathy from she got more sympathy than I did, which was the most surprising part too. Oh
No,
my
it
God,
wasn't. I got to drive this clown around the whole time.
Oh my God.
I'm on
I'm like,
side
whoa,
Anna.
guys, I just did
Anna?
I just did 6 months of PT,
Yeah.
and now I just broke it again. I got to do another 6 months.
We all
She's
know
just driving.
PT is BS. Come on, brother.
Well, yeah.
You say your wife's name is Anna? What'd you say?
Anna. Yeah.
Good.
But I don't know why she got more sympathy than I did, because I'm the one who had the broken foot. And I will say,
Alleged.
shout out to Hampton, Newport News. We got one of the best restaurants to check out. It's called Poke Bowl, and they take this bowl, this
Little mature, a
bowl.
little premature on this.
Oh, hold on now. They take this 10-ounce bowl and they pack it in with as much food as they can physically, like the container could barely handle, right? And I don't know if they still do this now, but those were some of the best poke bowls I had ever had. And it's called Poke Bowl over in the Hampton Newport News area. So I got to treat her a Poke Bowl when we were touring houses.
There's someone on Sesame Street called the Poke Monster.
Okay.
No, bad joke.
What's Sesame Street?
No, I'm just Tim got it.
Is that what you watched when they had TV when you were growing up? Sesame Street.
I don't remember.
Sorry,
Probably not.
I didn't mean to throw shade at your age. I was more like the late '90s, early 2000s. So.
Got it. Well, we know your comedy career isn't going to work. So.
No, it's not. Yeah, so I sell houses. So it's my day job. Yeah.
Where do you focus? What areas of the Hampton Roads area do you focus on?
Oh my gosh, I like to say I like to focus more on the type of buyer I'm working with. So I mean, if you're in the market to buy a home, there's many different levers and dials to check out. So like right now, the VHDA is offering grants to certain cities in and around Hampton Roads. So if you're looking at Suffolk or Chesapeake or Portsmouth, the city will give like up to $25,000 grants to move to those cities. Yes, you have to live there for 10 years, right? But it's a grant that you don't have to pay back. Also, that includes Isle of Wight, Williamsburg, Franklin area, which is
that
incredible.
for like first-time home buyers or something, or who qualifies for that?
That's for first-time home buyers, and if you've bought a home before but you haven't owned within 3 years, you're also a first-time home buyer again. It renews your eligibility.
How much money was that?
Up to $25,000 just for the city. And then the VHDA, which is a private organization in Virginia, we did an episode on Discover Virginia that's coming out later this month if you want the full breakdown, those of you listening. But they also offer grant and support assistance as well, in addition to the city grants.
Do you get the check at 10 years, or do you get the check and then have to pay it back? How does that work?
So as far as the specifics, I would defer more towards the lender on the like baseline information, but generally it's going to help you be able to get to closing on a property. So if you buying a $300,000 house, you get the grant, that $25K would go towards either the down payment, the closing cost, or if there's any excess left over, you can also buy down your rate as well. So if you're looking to get that 6.5% down, you can do that.
Is the seller privy to knowing that you qualify for this? Because I'm like, if I was a seller and I'd be like, hey man, we don't have to negotiate this person's about to get 25K, We don't have to
Yeah.
play nice.
So that's another great question too, Tim, because I do work with sellers as well. So one of the things we're looking at right now is the market shifting from a seller's market more towards a balanced market. Homes are sitting on the market longer. Buyers are kind of fed up with, hey, I'm not going to pay full price. So I think for sellers, this is a really unique advantage to be mindful of. And you can play dirty down and dirty with it if you wanted to say, hey, you're gonna get this grant. But I think ultimately what it does is it allows there to be leverage and buying power on the buyer's side, so that way they can qualify a purchase, which ultimately helps the seller out because now they can get not only first-time home buyers, but also our wonderful veterans who are interested in moving to this area permanently after deployment or during their station here, that opportunity as well. So I think it creates a very healthy marketplace overall.
That's a good deal. I wish I would have had that opportunity when I was first stationed here back in the day.
I don't know if there's a thing here, but I know that in Northern Virginia, they have like this reduced rate, like super reduced rate for homes for first responders and teachers who don't make a lot of money, but they live in an area that's like, so I'll give you like a general example. These are Zach stats, but like you go up there, you're a teacher.
Zach stats. Sorry, I felt like there needed to be some kind of transition there. Do you have a sound on StreamYard where you could do like a transition, like a
Y'all done?
Zach stats.
Y'all done? Like, jeez, Louise.
I'm just excited for
that. Was a real segment on a TV show.
I know.
Hampton Roads Business.
TV days.
It's fine. Yeah. It's fine. It's fine. Look.
Here we go.
I'll find it. What the hell is that?
Hey.
Go ahead, Zach.
This show is all right. Yeah, let's shotgun another beer, Mom. Like,
I was gonna say, hold on, let me go get one. Like, oh my God, how far do you live? I'll just drop you one off. Okay.
Okay, so like, let's say they make $50,000 a year in Northern Virginia. Clearly, that's not enough money to live there. They live in an area like Loudoun County where the average house, my guess, is $600,000-$700,000
at least. Yeah.
So they have these homes, maybe they're townhomes, I'm not exactly sure, but they can get them for like $150,000 to $200,000 if you have this, lined career and you stay in it for a certain amount of period of time. And then sometimes I guess there is a delta of there's too much, not enough demand, too much supply. So then I think you can apply to go live in one of those houses. And as long as you stay there for the 10 years or whatever, you can stay in it at that reduced rate, which is obnoxious. Can you imagine buying it? But then when you sell it after that 10 years, you sell it for what it's actually worth. So you're basically buying it at cost, which is wow. Do they have that stuff here? Have you ever heard of that stuff?
So I do know that there are a lot of wonderful groups and organizations out there in the mortgage and lending space that offer financial incentives to buyers and sellers. Like, for example, the grants aren't extended to Norfolk and Virginia Beach. And that's something I hear a lot of from the buyer side of like, well, I want to live in Norfolk or Virginia Beach. One of the other ones I think is really cool is Wells Fargo does a couple different programs depending on if you bank with them or not. They have programs tied into their long-term financial planning sector that can offer cash incentive up front during the home buying process. It's been a while since I've looked at those numbers, but anywhere between $5 to $10,000 range is where you're looking at. So every little bit helps, but I think the main thing is just starting with doing your research to know that there's not a singular way to buy a house. Just like there's not like a prerequisite for a 20% down payment. You can go as low as 3.5% for a traditional loan or first time home buyer, and then for our veterans, our VA buyers, no money down is another option for them as well. That I think is just important general knowledge to know. That way, when you are assessing your options, you know where to get the most bang for your buck. When it comes to buying.
Not in Norfolk or Virginia Beach because of the military. And they already basically is that the reasoning behind that, or?
The reasoning, I haven't spoken with anybody directly from either one of those cities.
So this is a Joe stat, a Joe joke.
No, not a joke. No, not like a Zach segment. Zach attack
No,
stats.
do it. You gotta do it, Tim. Let's get it. Come on.
Okay.
Bring it.
Okay, so no,
That was weird.
Norfolk, Virginia Beach. I'm not sure. I haven't talked to anybody directly there, but from what I understand from my lending partners, they just don't have as much, necessarily incentive to incentivize people to move there because there's already traditional demand for the marketplace. Yeah.
Roger that.
Yeah.
Where do you live? Norfolk?
I live in Norfolk right now. I double dip. I mean, this area is great. I mean, so I live in Norfolk on the border of Chesapeake and Virginia Beach. So we actually did a video recently where I went viral talking about the Virginia beaches, which was fun. Not because it was viral, but because I said Yeti. Apparently you're supposed to say jetty or something. I don't know. But ultimately, like I'm a transplant, and that's what the comment section, roasted me on. But I don't care. I mean, exposing Virginia Beach for all the cool stuff, as well as Norfolk and Chesapeake and all the amazing stuff on the peninsula is what we like to do on the Discover Virginia show. It's something I like to do with buyers when they're like looking to figure out, like, when I close, like, I just want something more than pizza, like where's that good ramen restaurant or that good, Mexican restaurant to go to. So all those things I like to double and triple dip on of just, experiencing what Virginia Beach and the surrounding areas have to offer.
Yeah, let's dive into that. Talk about a little bit about Discover Virginia. What was how did you make the decision that you wanted to start your own podcast?
Yeah, so it boiled down to two things. Podcasting is kind of the mainstream trend right now. I myself am not looking to aspire to be any sort of Joe Rogan or late night host show. As Zach alluded to, my jokes are not quite there yet. Although I will say I have some pretty spicy puns from time to time. But other than that, stick to my day job here. But Discover Virginia started, two reasons. One, I needed to create a large amount of content to have to delegate and distribute because I'm working full time, showing houses, writing offers, prospecting for business. So it's not optimal to be full-time content creator mode because I do have to still do transactions. So that was a way to kind of get content made ahead of time. And then secondly, my daughter at the time, we were expecting our first biological daughter, who is now with us 2 years later, Blake. And that was one of the things I wanted to be present for during those initial, first 2 years, was to be as present as I could while still managing and operating a business. So the podcast was a great way to connect with people, to create a backlog of content to then distribute, and then to also be able to have time to operate the business and attend to my family needs. So, yeah.
I had a fun time doing it.
It was a good time. And so it used to be interviews like this on Zoom. So we did 75 of those. That was incredible. Everyone from Sean Koyman with Ducks Unlimited to Apex Entertainment to Stormy Blue. She was like those were like all within the first 10 guests.
Is that the incredible food? Is that the food IG lady? Stormy Blue? Stormy Blue
and her Storm Chasers. Shout out to her branding there. She does a phenomenal job. She's a retired veteran. She does a lot in the business and restaurant community, bringing awareness to restaurants. Kind of like a localized Keith Lee. If anybody knows Keith Lee from TikTok, she does that and way more for our local community here. But yeah, those were the guests. And then after 75 interviews, we're like, hey, let's do this in person. Let's kind of make it more of a show, of an experience of sorts. And so that's how Discover Virginia evolved to what it is now, where we have a podcast studio. We have a full-time videographer. Shout out to Michael Salas with Virginia Video, and also a full-time editor as well. So we can really, create and streamline a lot of great content more quickly than we were before, and also get guests to get content to share in their profiles as well. I think that's the most rewarding part and the most engaging part for me, is to be able to provide a digital resource to someone else, especially with local businesses who may not have a budget necessarily right away, or they are just trying to figure out social media and they don't have a lump sum to pay for a marketing person up front. I think it's a great introduction to just start on videos, because we live in a vertical world, and you have to be online. And if you're not online, you have to be really, really good at what I call old school marketing, which is knocking on doors, having really strategically placed billboards, and all the old school marketing that comes with that. So,
What does that mean, a vertical world?
a vertical world to me means being able to not only tell people what you do, but also show them what you do. And vertical is the type of format video has. So when you're scrolling on your phone, everything is positioned vertically, except for YouTube. But YouTube now has vertical videos. So it's physically a vertical view or lens of what you're doing, and you can also show people what it is you're creating or doing or aspiring to reach. I know for one of the stores we had was Remy Belsky. She was when we went to Richmond, we got to film at the amazing Quirk Hotel. They allowed us to film on their hotel site. We had Remy come on, who is a death doula. So she's certified in helping people transition out of life when they pass away. And one of the things that she aspired to do was be able to share what she does to support people as they navigate their last few days in hospice care versus, what traditionally happens, where there might be some regret or some turmoil. She helps them unpack and do that. And, what better way to share that and then to share the stories of the people she's helped. So that's what living in a vertical world means to me.
I would think that from a vertical perspective and being a photographer, well, you're not really a photographer, you're a host. You would center yourself a little bit better so that in post you aren't cockeyed like this the whole time. You don't get what I'm saying. Got it.
Yeah. So I mean, the great thing about video is, are you just busting the bricks behind me, man, or are you serious? You always want to record horizontally, but you could edit the video to go.
I know, and I'm saying you could center up a little bit better.
Well, right here, right? Am I centered up a little bit more?
You were, and then you slide left, slide right.
Slide
like, what is this? The cha-cha slide? Like, come on, man.
I'm in a chair with wheels, so that's part of it too. Also, I'm just matching your energy. I mean, you're standing up. I didn't know whether to stand or to sit, so I'm just kind of doing the middle.
I just recently, I don't know, 3-4 months ago, started standing for these.
Okay.
Do you feel a
I
difference?
Didn't used to. What?
Do you feel a difference? Do you feel more creative?
Hold on, let me try this here. We're gonna stand for these. Hold on. I'm joining the stand crew. Let's see.
Do I feel more creative? No.
I just know, like, if I am stuck and I need to really think about something,
I can move though.
If I go for a walk, then that will spark some, or if I stand up, that will spark some creativity.
I
used to have a standing desk, but
no, I don't like it. I don't know. I guess it just depends on the conversation.
He just said he doesn't like the conversation. Great.
Do you think you could have shotgunned a little faster if you were standing, though?
Yeah, I don't think I can shotgun fast at all. But I'm going to try again.
That is a factual statement.
I'm going to try to shotgun again. I'm going to go on, what's that new podcast? Jeff Britton's Cockpit Conversations. I'm going to go on there and shotgun one in an airplane. We'll see if I can do it.
Hey, Siri, what's the slowest shotgun of a not? Let's find out. Hey, Siri. What's the
episode 273 of the Frozen 4 show
of a beer ever? I don't like whatever it went on its own. That robot does not. Siri might be the dumbest robot.
Siri's tough. Siri's tough to work with. Yeah.
Setting a timer is about that maxes capabilities out.
I don't know even that sometimes. Okay, so
do you measure, like a podcast, how much that then transitions into clients and sales, or do you just do it for the love of allowing people to discover Virginia?
Yeah, great question. I think both can be true. So originally it started off with wanting to connect with people in non-competing industries because I wanted to build my referral network. I started the show 2 years ago this month, and during the 2 years prior, it was mostly COVID, mostly social distancing, and networking and face-to-face was kind of frowned upon. So people didn't really know who I was. So it was a unique opportunity to introduce myself, more than just say, hey, let's go out for coffee and let me tell you about my business, you tell me about yours, and we'll figure something out. But it was a way to share their story. But yes, absolutely. At the end of the day, I think metrics and numbers are important. I'm a business owner, so that's something that I do track. So that is something we look at for every time we make a piece of video. What's the views? Views are vanity metrics, but they're a leading indicator. So looking at those leading indicators to see what type of conversations people want to have, what type of conversations people do not want to have, or, everything in between. And then, also, and I think this is the important part about the community building aspect, regardless of retention, there still needs to be a time in the conversation for me to connect with the guest, regardless of whether or not it's going to go viral or not, because that's how we connect as humans. And I think that's how we connect as business owners overall, is like, I still care, I still care, and I still want to work with them or figure out a way to work with them, but we might do something like a little bit more scripted in the interviews now. We might incorporate some props or some shotguns, some drinks, or, just try to shake up the setting a little bit to help, still entertain and educate and also share Virginia, but also still make it more meaningful for the guest.
I'm curious, what is, looking at your audience, do you know what in terms of people watching within Virginia and then outside of Virginia?
Yeah, so I do this, the SEO, my SEO approach is search everywhere optimization. Thank you, Gary V. I'm stealing that. But yeah, we distribute throughout all different types of platforms. So right now, over the past 180 days, we've been testing 10 distribution sites for social media. 80% of those are going to be stateside, and of those 80%, we're going to see a majority of them, about 60 to 75%, in the Virginia area. Those outside of Virginia, some of them come from Canada, some of them come from Germany. My dad's stationed in Germany. My parents listen to the show, so I think that's where the metrics get skewed a little bit. But yeah, I have an opportunity to reach a global audience as much as I do a local audience as well. And so that's where I'm kind of seeing where people are watching from. And then depending on the platform, we have different goals for each measurable. For example, Facebook, we want to funnel people into a Facebook group, versus Instagram, we're all about that high view, high engagement ratio of just making something memorable. So it just depends on the platform.
What are the 10?
The 10 are, and I'll do this in order of priority for my business: Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and TikTok. The ones I've tested for are X, Reddit, Threads, and Blue Sky. And then we use a platform called Buzzsprout, which is audio only, and that distributes to 10 other audio sources as well. So 20 in total, but the metrics are really small for the audio platform because, most people for my audience are watching a video, or they're just engaging through the clips versus the sit down long form, approach.
From ChatGPT, we have the answer. The slowest shotgun of a beer ever recorded is not officially tracked. People occasionally post painfully slow shotguns, sometimes taking over 30 seconds to a minute or more. Okay, so you might not be the slowest ever, but you're pretty damn close.
I think that was pretty darn close to the slowest shotgun ever. Maybe I'll go down as the guest with the slowest shotgun ever. I don't know, but I think as long as I get to shout out Christina Kimbrough with Free Life LLC, I think mission accomplished there. So
well, that was your second one, so I think she'll be very excited about that.
It sounds like you have a lot of experience. Do you know how to spell that word?
Experience?
Yeah.
Oh shoot. Yeah. So the thing about certain words, it's like if you know how to explain it, you can say it, but you don't necessarily need to spell it. I get in trouble sometimes because I'm really bad texter, right? Really, really bad texter. For example, I was texting my broker at the time, and I was trying to text him kind of quick. I was in between appointments, and my phone autocorrects, right? Because my phone wants to help me, and it started to associate his name, which starts with a B, to Babe. So for a whole week, because I don't really read my text, I'm just texting. I had called him Babe all week. Thanks, Babe. Appreciate the contact, Babe. Hey, can you jump on a quick call, Babe? And my phone literally changed this person's name to Babe in my phone because I was so bad at texting. So finally, at the end of the week, I had like a meeting, and I was like, "What is this about?" And he's like, "It's kind of appropriate. You keep calling me Babe." And I was like, totally floored that had happened. So yeah, just watch what you text people. You never know if it could be autocorrecting to something else.
Yeah, it's definitely true, Babe. But that
Yeah.
does not help us with you. So sometimes Tim's like little like, oh, it's fine. Listen, Babe, I'm just gonna need you to spell experience right now.
If I had to spell experience right now, I would probably need to take a moment to look at my phone real quick and just see. But I'll
All right, well, let me try to spell it, Tim.
you try to spell experience.
EXPERIENCE. Experience. Use it in a sentence. I like to experience
Great food.
great
in the
food
Yes, great
in
food.
the Hampton Roads area, Babe.
You know what would be a funny idea, Babe? And Practical Jokers did this. They had an attack dog on standby during a spelling bee with the Jokers, and they had them fully suited up. So when they get the dog bit them, they would be protected. But if they spelled a word wrong, they would sick a Rottweiler. Don't even ask me to spell that one. They would sick a Rottweiler on them to bite them until they could spell the word correctly. Now, maybe we should take the people applying for this like Startup World Cup and do the same thing for them. Like they have to give their pitch.
Truth be told, last year they were supposed to get the cat meow from Kill Tony, but we couldn't. It didn't work. The DJ could. There was some. It just didn't work out. But that was the plan.
I think we should. I think we should bring out the cat meow. Yeah, that's incredible.
That was the plan. But yeah, dude, a little shock collar or something, man.
Yeah, something to keep them engaged. I mean, in Shark Tank they have to stage people arguing, because those things are like it's a 3-hour presentation, and they can edit it down to like 4 minutes.
It's
Yes,
not 3 hours.
I've been on Shark Tank. I know how it goes. I watch the videos.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was that a great experience, Babe?
Being on Shark Tank? No, it's mid. It's all staged. It's all staged.
Mid. Jesus.
Yeah.
Anything you want to talk about that we haven't talked about?
Thanks for having me on the show. I'd love to talk about Startup World Cup. I mean, that's the thing I'm most excited about this month. Aside from my daughter's birthday, those were kind of competing for the two. But now that that's done, now that birthday party's done, like, yeah.
What was the birthday? Did you do anything special? I mean, a 2-year birthday, man. There's a lot that goes into that.
Yeah, I did nothing. My wife planned everything.
Yeah.
She's the party planner.
MVP.
I just kind of get the tape or the hammer, and either tape a kid to a wall or
What was the theme?
The theme was I think pink or tropical.
Yeah.
One of those singular kid. We had pineapple cake. That was tropical.
The thing that I'm hearing the most is the reason your wife gets more shout outs than you is because she is the MVP, like Tim said. So yeah.
She's literally the MVP.
She drove you around when you were, crippled. All the sympathy there. Shout out. She deserved it.
Yeah.
All right, babe. So let's say that you
more than she did, but yeah.
It is weird saying that, by the way. So the fact that you were texting your business partner, associate, for a week, I don't know how you did it for so long, babe, and didn't catch it, but I guess you did.
Yeah. Good luck, babe. Chappelle Sharon style. Good luck, babe.
So, when you were are you guys still working together?
No. I've since joined a new company. I'm with EXP Real Estate Brokers team now. So that's where I'm planning.
Check your autocorrect, kids, or else you're gonna get fired. Watch
it. Shout out to EXP.
That's actually the reason why I got fired. Yeah, EXP was the only one that would take me. They're like, "Oh, yeah, you don't have to spell. We'll take care of that for you." So
clearly can't be funny either. Got it.
No.
So rather than a poke bowl, what is the food of the region?
The food of the region. If I had to pick the food of the region, I think like the answer is going to depend on people's culinary cuisine. But a local favorite is seafood, right? So Chick's Oyster Bar is a big one. Waterman's over down at the Virginia Beach oceanfront. if you're into like Japanese cuisine, there's tons of great sushi places. Although you gotta watch out for sushi places now, because like they do the all you can eat, and I put them in air quotes because they're starting to pad them with more rice. And
Mm.
after a 75 pieces of sushi, that's the most I can eat because I just get sick after that. But I can only get like half of that now because they're
That's
just
the key,
so much rice.
man. I like to go to like a Texas de Brazil or a Fogo de Chao, and I tell everyone, man, skip the bread, skip the salad bar. That's all filler stuff that's going to fill your. You got to stick to the bacon wrap fillet. You got to stick to the good stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah, just stuff the bread in your wife's purse or in your bag or your pockets. You can take it home and eat it on the way home or, the next morning with breakfast. Yeah. That's the best thing about the bread. They just keep bringing it. You just, do what you got to do.
Tim doesn't eat salad anyway.
Tim doesn't eat salad anyway. There's also really good brunch spots in and around the Hampton Roads area. So if you're in for a good date night, or not date night, brunch, like morning
That'd
date.
be a day date. We don't
That'd
like
be a
this.
day date. Yeah. The day dates. Yeah. You see what you really look like.
We learned about that with Ryan Reynolds and Just Friends.
Where's the brunch spot?
Oh, there's like 3 really good ones. Tupelo Honey is one in Town Center area. Then there's the Bee and the Biscuit, which is still in Town Center. And then I'm going to shout out Norfolk. They have some really, really good spots. Anywhere you go, kind of in that Granby Street area, you're going to find a lot of cool stuff. I don't think I have any. I haven't gone to any recently. My kids wake up at like 5:30, 6 o'clock now. So we just do the breakfast at home because it's way easier.
Endless mimosas at these buffet places?
Yeah. They got great brunches, great brunch drinks. And then also the Bay Local. Bay Local is probably the most local place to go. That's why they named it Bay Local, obviously. But that has some of the best drink spots they do. You could do like the one from the Big Lebowski. I think that's the Russian drink. And they have good mimosas as well, if you're into that kind of thing.
Huh. So what's your favorite beach in Norfolk?
What's my favorite what in Norfolk?
Beach in Norfolk?
Favorite beach in Norfolk right now is probably East Beach. You go over to Bay Lake Oak Park on a Saturday. They have the farmers market there, and then you can park for free. That's FREE, free, right? And then you can just walk over across the street. It's a little dicey, but if you run, you can make it, and you could be right on the beach.
Is this where you got in trouble promoting it last time? The same beach?
No. So I've gotten in trouble for promoting some beaches. So I joined one of the first groups I got kicked out of was Sandbridge Living. And I thought I was just like, hey, what's your favorite part of Sandbridge? History. Like, I love history. And so then I would get like locals to like tell me the history of Sandbridge or like these cool spots where people could go. And then I started sharing those, and the admin was like, hey, you can't share that. And then like very quickly, I kept doing it, and then they kicked me out because they found out I was sharing it in other groups. So yeah, but Sandbridge is probably the most local beach of all the beaches. I mean, they didn't even become like an official part of Virginia, like the state owned beach until like the 90s. Like they were stubbornly like just in their ways because like the history of Sandbridge is interesting because like the 80s and 90s, they were like racing bungee cars and Jeeps down the beach. I mean, that's where you could still drive on the beach, and that's why the locals loved it. They did a lot of other stuff that I won't mention here, but it was more PG-13 up in the Sandbridge area. But the swamp has since dissipated all of that. But anyways, the biggest thing was the sewage. They couldn't figure out the sewage because it was owned by the locals, but because of the erosion and everything with the sand, they eventually
can't really have a septic tank in your backyard there.
No. The city had to give the locals had to give the land back to the state so they could manage it and take care of the plant.
Interesting.
Nothing like a Facebook group getting kicked out of that. Way to go.
Yeah. Well, fortunately, there's some good Facebook groups out there. Virginia Beach is one of them. Discover Virginia Beach is another that I manage. I ended up just managing them. It was a lot easier than having to fight.
So you got to join these groups? If you want to all the local intel, where all the
That wasn't a
local
cooler.
only stuff.
I was really hoping he was going to get. I thought I was grabbing another drink out of a cooler, but no, I guess not.
No, I'll grab one. I'll grab one for the finale. But yeah, that's those are the groups, and main thing is just to follow me on Facebook and Instagram. It's just Joseph Trahan, or I am Joseph Trahan. I post a lot of local stuff. Like recently, there's this new Airbnb that is it's a boathouse, and this company does like luxury boathouses, and they just parked it over on the Chesapeake Bay. Well, I'm hoping to do a podcast shoot out there, but that just dropped, which is phenomenal because, if you want the beach but don't want the sand, which a lot of my friends, don't like the beach for, that's a good place to go. I think I just posted it recently. I don't remember the name, but yeah, it's a new boathouse that you can rent and stay the night.
I like the beach, but not the sand. Okay, you have some interesting friends. It's kind of just part of the situation, babe. You just got to deal with it. So,
yeah. Some people, they have their preferences. There's beaches out in Suffolk too. Now those I'm not allowed to disclose. I had to sign NDAs for those. But yeah, there's private beaches in certain communities. But if you're looking to buy a house in Suffolk, I can tell you about them. But yeah.
Okay.
Love it.
Joe, appreciate your time. This has been lovely. You were great.
Well, thank you for your time. Thanks for having me on. So
Yeah.
when are we going to do this whole Startup World Cup thing? That's coming up 21st?
August 21st, 2 weeks from today.
2 weeks from today. Can you give me a heads up now about the cool stuff going on, or do I have to wait to show up and see it?
We're not telling you anything.
We haven't told anyone anything.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Partly because we're still nailing stuff
I'd at
down.
least ask. I mean, I know before the call, you guys had to mute and talk about the other stuff going on. I heard something
super secret government clearance things are going on that you'll find out in approximately 14 days.
The thing to know is
7 hours.
Something about
it's not a traditional business pitch thing.
Virginia Beach sports team, something like that. I don't know.
It's not a traditional business event. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah. Okay.
As Zach and I say, it is, if you take a pitch competition, which this is, add the element of the Savannah Bananas to it. That's what we're doing.
So you're saying there's a chance the Savannah Bananas could be there?
We're exploring all
we can't
options.
disclose these kinds of things, babe.
Oh, come on.
Come on.
Something. I'm like
the goal is maximum
biggest fan.
Maximum dopamine hits for everybody.
Well, I'm excited, and if it's anything like last year throwing knives on the stage, then that's chef's kiss. I'm going to be there for it.
Not plural, singular knife, and this is actually a fish scaler. Well, this has been lovely.
This might be the record for the longest.
Yeah,
episode.
well, it's still going.
Yeah. Well, what else do we want to talk about?
2, 1. Bye.
Hey everybody, I'm Tim Ryan, Executive Director of Innovate Hampton Roads, and I'm inviting you to attend the Startup World Cup on August 21st, 5 o'clock here at Town Center in Virginia Beach.